Licensed.
And Unhinged.
Where clinical minds
meets chaotic vibes.
I'm Karen Nelson, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Alexis Watts, a licensed professional clinical counselor.
Welcome to today's podcast. We are on number...
What is it?
2.
Number 2 officially, because we did like a welcome,
Like
and
a
we're on
trailer.
episode 2 right now, so welcome.
Yes.
And Becky has some questions for us from some comments that you guys left us, which thank you, and we're excited to answer them.
How to address things with your parents that they didn't do well in your childhood that affected you as an adult.
Okay. You want to start or you want me to start?
It's up to you.
Okay.
You want to start? You ready?
No. Your
We'll
turn.
pretend like we're ready. We'll pretend
Okay,
like we're
I'm
in
ready.
session. We have to be ready.
I'm ready.
So part of
Sorry.
therapy is understanding yourself and why
Yeah.
you want to know certain things or what you need to heal yourself, right? So I think it really depends on the circumstance.
Mhm.
You know, if you have contact with your parent and a relationship
Yeah.
with them,
Yeah.
I think that looks different than if you guys have already been living separately and not having any contact at all. And it also matters if your parent is capable
Right.
of giving you any responses. You know, we have people that as they age, they don't have the capacity
Mhm.
to address any issues or talk about any history.
I think that's a really good thing to address is like at what age are we addressing this, right? Like
Right.
I think that's huge because we have to take consideration of development and the aging process.
Yes.
A lot of times they're younger,
Yeah.
right? So that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
So let's maybe start with,
No contact or contact?
let's start with no contact.
No contact. Okay. So first we're going to ask ourselves the why. We have to assess the situation. How old are we? How old are they? What does their current environment look like? Are they still in a highly stressful or traumatic environment potentially where some of these behaviors came from? Because if so, it's not that you can't address it, it's going to be a lot harder and your approach might look a lot different, and those things need to be taken into consideration along with your why. If you're coming mad or escalated, your conversation's going to look a lot different and you're probably not going to get the outcome you want versus if you approach them with curiosity. Hey mom, like some stuff went down in our childhood and like I didn't love all of it, right? Like I'm curious about like where did that come from or how come you did that? Like, and sometimes it's explained by I didn't know better, we didn't have the finances, I was a single mom. Like excuses are like assholes, everyone has them, but sometimes there's validity in that, right? And we have to understand and give grace towards that. So I would say if you're going to do it, curiosity, not anger.
Yeah. And I would really hope that if you do approach for answers, that you've already accepted the childhood that you had, right?
Mhm.
Because otherwise we're going to have that resentment,
Mhm.
right? And we want to not have resentment when we're approaching somebody to have a discussion.
Mhm.
Resentment means that we're going to be escalated very quickly if we get any information we don't like.
We're going to latch onto that and be like, well, did it, right? Like, and then you're not
Exactly.
hearing what they had to say. Yeah.
So, and I think that's a hard thing to work on as a young person when you're first coming out of the home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times because we're still feeling that resonant
Oh,
that happened
yeah.
right now.
Plus we have the angst and the hormones and there's a lot to consider at that age as well.
Yes. And especially depending on how you left the home. Were you kicked out of the home? Did you run away from the home? Did you get removed from the home? Like those are all big situations that are going to make a big impact on you and the parent, right? If you were moved from a home and the parent had maybe addiction problems
Right.
or mental health issues, it's going to look a lot different approaching them than somebody that just decided it was better for you to go into adoption
Mhm.
or somebody who just was not ready to have a kid,
Mhm.
right? Like that's going to all look differently. And if you were in an abusive relationship with your parents, right? Maybe it's verbal, maybe it was physical, maybe both,
Mhm.
right? Then it's also going to make a difference because do you want to go and approach them and have a conversation to say goodbye? You know, even if you were already away from them, you may want to just go by and have that closure,
Yeah.
right? Or do you want to forgive them, and then have a different kind of relationship, like maybe a friendship. So you may be friends with your parents, however, not really a child
Like
to
a
them,
child
and they're
parent.
not really their parent. You're a parent, if that makes sense.
I think so too. And I think hitting heavy on like coming with acceptance, I don't want you guys to hear that as like
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Like that is not what we're saying at all. It's just, if you're gonna have the conversation, the best place to be in before that conversation is acceptance. If you're not ready for that, that's okay. We don't have to approach the conversation yet, and probably wouldn't be good.
Right. And again, if we can't accept, it sucked, and this is what we got, and this is why I'm this way, and love ourselves, then I don't know that a conversation would do any good anyway. Right?
Yeah. I feel like, again, go back to the why. Why are you having this conversation? Are you trying to rebuild? Are you trying to get a sorry? Are you trying to have a new relationship moving forward? Like, what does that look like, and what's your why?
And go from there. And I really do, finding somebody that you trust, whether it's a pastor or a clinician or a counselor, someone that you can talk to about those reasons and kind of process some of it, before you make that contact. I just feel that would maybe be a little bit more
sounding board
successful
prior to contact. Yes, that should be number one rule. Sounding board.
Sounding boards.
Okay, Becky, you have more questions for us.
Yes. Question 2. How to mend things in a relationship when every time you bring something up that's bothering you, they take it as an attack?
Oh, that sounds like hurt parts talking to hurt parts.
Right. And no one feels safe.
Yeah. Couples therapy. Gosh, my number one first thought to that is, again, I never want to go into victim blaming, but we can only keep our side of the street clean. So if we're approaching our partner with a problem and it's always met with defense, right, make sure we've tried all the approaches possible instead of like, well, you always hurt my feelings, da, 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 da. Make sure you're delivering with your side of the street clean out of curiosity, care, I still love you. And if you're still met with that resistance, we can get into curiosity or couples counseling. But things like that, because I can't tell your partner to like behave, right? Like I can only tell you, hey, let's try to change things in your environment. And have we ever had a good outcome? And if we have, what kind of environment were you guys in? Did you approach them calmly that time or her calmly that time and they heard you? Did you approach them screaming, yelling? How are we first approaching it is where I would start.
Yes. And again, we mentioned in last podcast, communication.
Yes.
Are we already having healthy communication where we can set boundaries and limits, and that our partner knows our expectations, that we're going in this because we love each other and we're trying to be healthier, not because we're condemning the other partner for the way they act or treat. I think that's a big thing.
I think in getting into condemning our partner's behaviors, I think that happens a lot, and it's like, okay, how do we not? So that's the thing. If you're noticing you're condemning or shaming your partner, we got to start to fix that part of ourselves and set that example of how we want to behave in the home, because if you're always going to condemn somebody, they're not going to feel good, right? Like I always say, guilt and shame only works for so long. It usually works on children, and that's just shit. Yes. Okay? Because that only works for so long too. So we're not going to do that. We're going to instead approach with like curiosity.
And I think another big part of that is also making sure that we understand, like we said last time too, that we love our partner and that we're here to make things better again. We want to make sure that, I'm looking for words. Words are hard to do.
Words are hard.
I was up late last night. I would just had a thought and it's gone.
It'll come back maybe.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
You go first.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Okay. What I was going to say was that we have to make sure that when we're communicating that we're not one-upping one another. Right? Because I think that's a big thing that happens, and that's because we feel unsafe when we first start the conversation. We're already unsafe.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, we need to talk today, and everybody's like, oh, red flag, right? Red flag, save me.
Yeah.
So if we're doing that, we already have that initial premise that we're going to be in trouble, right? And if we're feeling that way, that's not going to go well anyway.
Right. And I wanted to touch a base on the safety portion too. If you're fearful of coming to your partner, when's the last time we got into some like sensate practice, right? So when's the last time your partner has like touched your arm, non-sexually, and you felt safe, right? And go into that and do 5-10 minutes of just, without the goal being sex or anything like that, what does your partner touching your body feel like?
Yeah, and another big one that a lot of my clients hate is the eye contact.
Oh yeah, that one's hard.
That one's
But it's
really
a good
hard.
one. It's a good one.
You know, if you can't look into your partner's eyes for, 10 seconds without crying or feeling overwhelmed, there's something likely going on there that's not been addressed or explored, and that's something to really think about. Now, some of my clients are like, I just start laughing, right?
Yeah,
like that's wonderful. Eye gaze while you're laughing, right? Eye gaze and laugh until the laughter stops.
Yes.
Eye gaze until you're crying, and then think about, why am I crying right now? Because I missed this? Because I've never had this? Why am I crying? And that is a huge thing for couples, is just exploring that 10-second eye gaze.
100%.
Yes.
Did that this year. Exercise checks out. Okay? It checks out.
What do you do when you're stuck in roommate, words are hard. Try again. What do you do when you're stuck in roommate mode and tensions are high?
Fuck it up. I'm just kidding. Am I?
Sex is good healing sometimes. However, if you don't feel safe
but if you're
to
not
have
safe,
sex.
right? Okay.
Right?
Yeah, let's go there.
And that doesn't mean, when I'm saying feel safe, it doesn't mean that you feel like you're in physical danger.
Right.
It just feels like you can't be yourself.
Like your nervous system is calmed enough to engage in the sexual experience fully.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we mean by safe. Good caveat.
One of the biggest things is, how did you get there? Was there something major that happened in the relationship? If so, then we likely need to address that and work on healing. If we don't know how we got there, right, then maybe just kind of exploring how you became a couple. Yeah, I find that to be very helpful. Talk about when we first met. If we could repeat a date, right? Like,
that's my favorite.
The first time we went to the movies was this, and we watched that. Okay, go to the movies and pick another movie that's similar, right? Or get the movie on well, now you can just download it off your TV.
Well, now you can just download it. You don't even have to go get a Netflix.
Aging myself.
You don't have to go get a VHS.
I was go get a video. But yeah, so I've been through videos and DVDs. So now we can just live stream that movie, right? If we want to repeat the same movie, you can get the same snacks you had that night, if you remember, right? And watch that movie again. And kind of go through those same motions. It was our first kiss, or we didn't kiss for the third date, and kind of going through that and rebuild attachment or reawaken attachment.
That's I love to ask people what like lights you up about your person, or what lit you up like the first week you met, or whatever, because it brings that back. And then I do like, if we're really not understanding how we got here, I like to go into the assessment of unseen burdens.
Yes.
Because maybe so-and-so not taking out the trash for however many years and had to be repeatedly asked, dim down somebody else's sex life or their libido, right? And it's not just the trash or just this. It could be a pattern of behavior of like, we just didn't see each other's unseen things that they're doing, and we need to make that known, and we need to talk about what we're resenting. Because a lot of times we hide our resentments from our partner, and that's just shit, for lack of a better word. If we're hiding our resentment, we can't do anything about it.
No, we're setting our partner up to fail.
For failure, straight up. And it's just like, oh, I'm protecting their feelings. No, you're setting them up for failure. You're not protecting their feelings. You're protecting your own feelings. So, what are we going to do about it?
Exactly.
I love to ask that question.
And I think we set ourselves up for failures in a lot of relationships, not just couples.
Oh,
Right?
100%.
If we can't be honest and share what we need or what we don't like in a situation, we're just setting everybody up to fail, right?
Yes.
Ourselves, because if we build resentment, then we're going to lash out at people, and who knows who that will be. And
Yeah.
like we said last time, it's maybe not even your person that you're mad at.
Yes, it could be like the random person at the grocery store and it just made you mad at the wrong time.
Yes.
Yeah, now we're being rude for no reason. But I do the roommate phase, and then I would go into, again, sensate. Like, we gotta get our bodies close in proximity. How close are we sitting on the couch? Are we holding hands? Are we making eye contact? Big one for you, and I love that you recommend this, is hugging.
Yes.
Like 10 seconds or longer hugs. Random fact, you need what, 12 a day?
You need 12 a day, and I think, what do they say, the hormones that
Get like released after that 10-second mark.
or
I
after,
can't remember what
is
they're
it 10
called.
or is it 20?
Oh gosh. We'll look up the science, but go ahead and just hug it out for at least 20 seconds.
Yes.
Keep it on the safe side.
Well, my thing is too, if it's your partner or your child, someone you're close to, hugging it out until one of you feel the need to release.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
And I'm telling you, sometimes that means, like, for me, I'm laying on my husband's chest for longer than
Oh, yes.
20 seconds for sure. So I think that's a big thing, you know?
That's one of my favorite things to do. Like, can I lay on you? It's like,
Cuddle time.
cool. Like, sometimes I just want to lay on top of you and
Yes.
just feel like little baby queen.
Yeah, and I think building up to that sexual experience, you know, I tell couples, you know, try just cuddling on the couch, you know, just hold each other for a while. No sex is needed.
Right.
And then, you know,
Intimacy
later
is.
doing it naked.
Yes.
And then you get closer and closer, and then pretty soon you're just, you know, you're just making love because it feels like what you want to do.
And also, I feel like feeding each other is really cool and unique. I love that
Yes.
idea. I think that creates a sense of safety. And I know that sounds weird. When I first heard it, I was like, Karen, you're weird.
I am weird.
But I actually love it. And I think it's great, not just with your partner, but like your kiddos who are seeking attachment. Or maybe you didn't always have the most attachment you wanted with them. Feeding is very intimate. Cooking together in the kitchen.
Yes, that's my favorite
Intimate,
too. Yes.
you know, maybe you throw on some music and we start dancing, or somebody grabs the booty cheek, right? That's intimate.
Mm-hmm.
So creating any moments of intimacy without the pressure of sex can start to build
That connection
you
back.
back to not roommates.
Yes.
Well, that was a long answer.
That was good. I just looked it up. 5 to 10 seconds starts the release of endorphins and slows down your heart rate.
There we go.
20 seconds is the optimal duration to flood your brain with oxytocin, which actively lowers your cortisol.
Period. 20
Wonderful.
seconds or longer.
Yes. Love that.
But like 20 minutes is cool too.
Yeah, it is. And this is the thing, the more that we spend time, you know, being mindful of those connections, you know, are you the first one to release in a hug every time?
Right.
And your children or your spouse is clinging to you?
Mhm.
We maybe need to rethink that a little bit. And maybe it's because you have trauma around that.
Right.
So again, going through your own stuff before you're pointing out others is huge, right? And then being able to supply needs of our partners.
Because you could be, well, I'm not a hugger.
Mm-hmm.
Fair, okay? But also, are you not a hugger because you don't have distress tolerance or you haven't had access to it? Because every human's a hugger, whether you're a hugger or not. I'm not saying go hug all your strangers,
Yes.
but to hug our loved ones, whether you're a hugger or not, is something.
And I do hug strangers.
I do too.
I know, it's hard.
I do. And then one other point I wanted to, where did it just go? Any other questions?
Last question.
Okay.
The best way to deal with challenging stepchildren when you're parenting and don't want those bad behaviors to be absorbed by little ones in your home, like impressionable little ones, you know?
Right. First thing I want to address is valid. I don't think we want anybody rubbing off on our younger ones, right? Whether it be our spouse, our older siblings or not. I do understanding addressing biology to some degree, but I want to challenge that thought a little bit, right? Because even if they weren't your step kiddos and they were fully biologically yours and influencing your younger children, you would equally be just as upset. Does your interventions maybe look a little different based off biology because of your relationship or your boundaries with maybe the outside parent of the home, the other co-parent, things like that? Sure. But I just wanted to make that differentiation. Yeah. So what do you do with it?
Well, for me, first of all, if it's your house, that they're having these behaviors in, you know,
And that.
yeah, you need to make sure that you're okay, you and your partner, with setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that we want, you know, say, let's give us a bad trait, what would be doing? Cussing or smoking.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Cussing and smoking. Okay. So if you don't want your children to hear the F word every 5 minutes and the other child is saying that, whether, again, it's your biological child or not, you need to set that boundary. In my house, we don't talk like that, you know. Well, my mom lets it, okay, well, when
Totally
you're
fine.
home at your mom's house, you can talk that way. When I'm present or when my child is present, we're not going to talk that way. And I know for some people, they're like, oh, I can't say that. My husband or my wife will get so... I'm like,
need to get on the
oh, well,
same
then
page."
you don't communicate with them properly either, is what I'm saying.
That
right?
one.
Because we need to have boundaries. This is part of... It's been proven in psychology. Kids thrive.
They literally thrive. Like,
With
oh, my kid
rules
doesn't
and
like when I
boundaries,
do
yes.
that. Of course they don't, but their brain likes it. Their development likes it, and they'll be a better human and spouse
Yes.
because of it.
And not only that, you know, we're setting up them for failure because we're never going to attach to them completely if they're not our own child or even our own child. People don't attach with their own children.
Yeah, happens.
If we're not able to communicate healthy with them and tell them what we need, just like our
Yes.
partners, just like our friendships,
Yeah.
you know, this is what I need from you and this is what I'm giving you, right? What do you need from me? Then it's not going to be successful, you know, and we have to support boundaries.
And I would say, like, if it's the, like, step-parent worried about parenting, then you need to get real clear with the spouse you're with on, hey, what's my role in parenting? Like, are you brand new and that's why you're nervous? If you're not, like, what is your role? And you need to be on the same exact page. Hey, when you're gone, husband or wife, these are our boundaries. You're cool with me sticking to them. We've both agreed on this. Because if you're having a fight between parents of like, well, don't tell my kid that while I'm gone,
Yeah.
that's a deeper issue than parental. That's then a marital issue. It has nothing to do with the kid.
And it's really not fair to tell your child, either of your children, that step or not, right?
Mhm.
It's not fair to tell either one of them, well, he can cuss and you can't.
No.
Because what's going to happen is both of them cussing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't say, that's just like saying,
Right.
do as I say, not as I do while you're smoking the cigarette.
Right.
Never smoke cigarettes.
Well,
Yeah.
I can
First thing I did was steal a pack of cigarettes.
Told me
Right?
not to do. Yes.
It's like, if you tell me no, I'm going to do it twice on Sunday.
Right. And
Show
especially, I think it's so important because if you do the thing like, well, they're, you know, my older kid or my stepkid, they're allowed to do this because their mom lets them. No, not in your home. Because then you're explicitly giving your younger children permission to do it.
And sending mixed signals. Oh, so you love the stepkids more than me.
Because
Or
you
you
let them
don't
get
love
away with
them
them.
because you let them
Yes.
do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that's the truth that I see most. I don't know about you. I see most. They don't even care what I do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Unless I get caught.
Right.
And then they're all up because now other people know my business, not because of me,
Right.
right? And so that's a huge thing. So being very careful, you know, with allowing some kids to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I get age differences,
Right.
right?
That comes into play. Teenagers are definitely going to do more things than like
Yes.
a 5-year-old. And then you explain that to your
Yes.
younger, whether they get it or not, and you're big. And you explain why there is a difference. And it's not because of favoritism, biology, anything like that. It's definitely because of age.
Yes.
Boom. I think we got that one.
I think so.
Oh. Okay. So do we want to talk about the 5 love languages? Words are
Yes.
hard. Okay. I'm gonna, because I took notes because ADHD memory is hard.
Yes.
We'll go more into them. I'm just going to list them out loud in case some people don't know. Welcome. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving or giving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Now, one caveat before we go into it is research is mixed on love languages, meaning maybe these 5 love languages aren't as nuanced and things like that. But in the therapeutic room, we're very aware of that and we take the nuance into account and we don't just do the basic like 5 love languages in the book. Like there is more nuance and that's why I say research is mixed on it.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not bad, it's not the end all. But
No. And I feel like, you know, the 5
Love languages, words are
Again,
hard.
words are hard. The 5 languages are very great place to start, you know, because then we have an idea of the differences in our partner. And I've had people take the 5 language quiz and
We'll link
be
it.
evenly across the board. And there's like, all of mine are the love language. And I'm like, okay, then that's true.
Then
That's
is
your
true.
truth, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we have, you know, we're really high in one and the others are just barely. I've even had people get 0 on
Which
some
is
of
wild,
them.
because you have all 5 in
Yes.
some capacity,
Yes.
but maybe we don't identify. We do
Exactly.
have all 5 as humans,
Mhm.
but one is sometimes higher than the other.
Yes, and that's where I look is for gaps and then anything close, right? So I think that's very important to be aware of. You don't just take a quiz and this is your love language and that's all you have to focus on.
Right.
Because we are going to need other parts, you know, to feed our other parts.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just one way.
Yeah.
It's not the way we work.
And also, especially in women, our hormones change every single week.
Lord Jesus.
So right? And this is why I always tell my male half, like if they're in a monogamous relationship or polyamorous, track your woman's cycle. Not as a way to be like, are you on your period? No, king.
Please don't
No,
say that.
do not do that. Okay? But I encourage them to have access to this because sometimes girls don't want to talk about it. But if you know your wife's cycle, you can know what week to bring her chocolate, what week she doesn't want you to breathe on her,
Yes.
what week to be extra lovey, or what week she's gonna attack your body. You know, she just
Yeah.
can't get enough.
Because there are good parts of that too.
Right. So it's like know so that you can also like know her map and meet her where she's at instead of being like, you're never in the mood. Or is it just this week because that's my hormonal shift, right? So I think that's important too.
Flow for partners.
Flow for partners.
I love
See,
that.
there's apps out there. There's even male-centered apps. Specifically, it'll tell you like, "Hey, bud, like, don't fuck with her today or whatever."
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah, it says
Yes.
ask if she'd like hot water. Ask if
Yes,
she would
that's
like.
the one then.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay,
Very good.
she's queen, and it's helped a lot of my couples. Caveat is, do not use it as a. Don't weaponize it. I guess is what I'm saying.
think
Like,
that's the
if you're gonna weapon, don't even. We're not in a place to download that.
If we weaponize anything,
Period. Period. We're not doing that.
therapy.
Therapy. Okay, so words of affirmation. This can look different for everybody, and I want to say also, we give and receive love either the same or different. Like, it depends on the person. I love acts of service. My man starts my shower, finds my towel, does the things, okay? Spoiled queen. And I love that. That makes me feel so loved. And it took me a while and him a while to figure that out, because for a while I'm like, you don't even like me.
Right.
And it's just because I wasn't receiving it the way I knew I needed, nor was I ready to. We had an oopsie. Our camera is back on.
Yeah.
It died mid-sentence, so I don't know where I was, but when I edit it, I'll figure it out. But we are on 5 love languages. Giving and receiving love. That's what I was talking about. Do you want to explain kind of like what words of affirmation, acts of service, would any of those look like? Or do you feel like they're pretty self-explanatory?
Well, I can go over a little bit for if someone doesn't know what that looks like, I suppose. Acts of service is basically performing acts of service for your partner. So doing your car. I haven't put gas in my car. How long have we been? 35 years? How long have I been married? I've been married since 91. And
Grace
I
King.
think
I
I've
love
probably put gas in my car since then about this many. I don't know, maybe 2 hands because it's been a long time. However, it's very rare.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
take notes.
Right. And I also, you know, he brings me chocolate, like you said. He brings me chocolates. Well, Carmelo. That's fine. We're gonna
specifically.
Carmelos are my favorite. Yes. So you know, he brings me treats and things like that. He makes sure that everyone in our family. I mean, he is a service guy. That's just who he is.
I don't even know him that well, and I could just see that exude from him.
Yes. And so I think it's really important. You know, and I do want to share. I'm a touch person. And he's an acts of service person. And so in the beginning of our marriage, it was a struggle, you know, because I was like, he doesn't love me. Like, he's never touching me the way I want to be, you know. And he was likely looking at me like, what's going on?
I do everything.
Like, I do
What are you talking
everything. Exactly. And so, you know, once we figured that out for each other, I think it was a lot better for our relationship. And we just kind of figured that out on our own before we knew about therapy and things like that. I just knew, like, if I bring him a glass of iced tea when he's outside or go talk to him while he's working on the car, that was like the biggest thing.
You guys are a movie.
I don't know about a movie.
I love that.
We do have the opposite. I just want to be washing dishes and he comes up and kisses me on the neck or puts his arms around my waist,
so hot.
because that's my touch. When he brushes the hair out of my face, to me it's like, oh,
Like so intimate. That's an intimate moment. You didn't even notice there was hair in my face.
Yes,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And so I think those are big things. And I see my couples a lot of times, they're like, well, that's all you want? Like, I could do that. And it's like,
Yes.
we just didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of times we don't even know what we need.
Honestly. Right. It took me a while to figure out what I needed. And all of a sudden I was like, wait, I like when you do that.
Yes.
And then I said the things I liked out loud more because we're verbal processors, some of us.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm an acts of service girly pop. Duh.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden I'm like, why am I mad? He didn't bring me my towel. It's not his responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized because that's how I felt loved. Right? And again, it's just not responsibility. I hear partners say it a lot. Well, it's not my responsibility to make them feel a certain way. You're right. But like Karen always says, it's kind. It's kind if you do.
Yes. And that's the thing is, we truly love each other, then we're working to make each other happy.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we have to, because I want to. It's the same thing with our relationship with God, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we have to go to church. It's not that we have to reach other people. It's that we want to, right? And I think that's a huge thing to think about.
Because we get stuck in like, well, I want him to do it first. And that's great. Of course we want those things. I want a lot of things. But how are you going to get the outcome you want and deserve? And it's not manipulation. I say this all the time. It's not manipulation to figure out how to get the outcome you want, right? It's just communication.
Just communication.
Weird,
I know. And I think a big point is a lot of couples struggle with if I told him to do it and he does it, it doesn't feel the same. And then with that, it's
more on that.
Yes.
Because I'll be like, well, how come?
Right.
Because the way I see it, if somebody's doing something they don't really want to do, but they did it anyway,
that's
oh my God, you love me.
Yes.
Like, oh my good, well, I want him to want to. Babe, when is he going to want to do the dishes? I don't want to do the dishes.
Right.
But the fact that we're doing, and that doesn't mean to do it in a pissy mood all the time or whatever, but the fact that somebody's doing it after they were told, because they could have said, well, no, I'm not gonna.
Yes.
They did it because
they're like, I never did it because I don't like it, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they're changing and making effort, and I think that's a big thing. Effort should go far in your marriage.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Words. Okay, so acts of service, words of affirmation. Does that only look like I'm proud of you, or can that look like encouragements or notes or compliments? Or...
I think, I teach my couples to use sticky notes, right? Like, use little sticky notes and write notes to your partner, send a text message, writing on the mirror with lipstick. Or,
love that one.
even if you don't want to use lipstick, if you're a guy,
don't use
lipstick.
Get a dollar store lipstick.
Yes, and you can use, on the mirrors, you can use Sharpies, you can use dry erase markers, and they come off with alcohol. So, being mindful that those words of affirmation doesn't always have to be verbal. It can just also be something you wrote down or sent them in a text message, and then following up with that, like, I'm proud of you is wonderful. It's also good once in a while to be like, my favorite part about you is your eyes, or I love the way you got that promotion. You were so amazing that you got that promotion, right? Those kind of things. It's not always just about the intimacy part, right? It's about life.
Yes, right? Like, oh, you mommed so hard today.
Right? Oh, exactly.
Thank you. I think that's huge.
I think so.
And I also want to caveat on, like, when you're texting your people, be mindful of what they have going on in their day. Like, if there's a no-no zone that your person, maybe they're not a morning person. Maybe don't send them this big sexy thing and expect a big sexy response then. Like, that may be their sacred time. I was going over this with a client, and she was like, I notice I just don't really like it during the time where mornings are sacred to me. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yes.
But I don't want to disappoint him. I'm like, perfect, just tell him not morning time.
Right?
Oh.
Or even going a step farther is when we send something, don't put an expectation on it.
And that. There
right?
has to be no expectation.
Because just because we receive affirmation and love it doesn't mean we know how to give it.
Mhm.
So we might not be like, oh, thanks, babe, you're the best at confirming that you love me or giving me affirmation. No, because we don't do that. We just want to receive it, maybe.
Right, because there could be, you can get a whole long text message, hot, this, that, and the other, and it could, the response be like, okay, sounds good, can't wait to do that tonight.
Right.
And the person could be like disappointed, waiting for like, a sexy answer. So figure out how you talk to each other and then advocate, hey babe, next time you respond, like I'll do it at a better time, but could you put a little something in it? Could you put an emoji? Could you put a whatever? And so advocate for when you want your words of affirmations and how you want them.
Comes back again to
Communication. Okay, receiving gifts. I feel like that's very self-explanatory, but I want to caveat, it doesn't have to be a physical gift always. Sometimes a gift looks like, hey babe, I'm going to take the kids for the day so you could just have the house to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to include money.
Mhm.
Like, you have a beautiful rose garden because your wife loves roses. Pick a rose and put it in a little, even if it's a cup, plastic cup. I
Literally,
don't care. You
red
just pick me
Solo
a
cup.
rose,
Yeah.
right? You picked me a rose. I'll even take it in your used beer
Mhm.
bottle.
Oh,
right?
that's cuter. Honestly,
Or
that's
how about
cuter.
a Coors Light can? That would be cute.
Right, like I was drinking this and I picked a flower and gave it to you.
Right? Like, it doesn't matter. It's about the effort. Again,
Yes.
if we love our partner, the efforts should matter.
Mhm.
Right?
Period.
Just like with our children.
Period.
Right?
And that leads us into quality time. This is where we get sticky sometimes. I spend time with them. Are you doing the things they want to do? Some time spent together, quality time, people like to co-play. They like to be on their own stuff, but be in the same room.
Yeah.
But is each partner categorizing that as quality time? Or is that quality time to one of you and maybe you need to switch it up sometimes and do the quality time for the other person? Like, define what is quality time to me,
Yeah.
put the menu items out there from both partners, and then eat from the menu,
Exactly.
you know?
And I think, an important thing is we need to remember that the golden rule does not apply anymore.
Which one? What?
The golden rule is what? Treat
Treat
people
others the way you want to be treated.
Treat
No.
people the way they want to be treated.
Yeah!
Right?
Ooh,
And the people
that's
should be
tea.
telling you that.
That's tea. Ooh,
Right?
That's tea.
People should be telling you that. It's called the platinum. I think there is somebody that did that before me, I'm sure.
It's
I'm
cooler.
just saying, that golden rule does not apply because there's no common sense
Mhm.
and there's no
I hate that term.
treat
It's
the
common
way
sense.
other people.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. There, it doesn't exist. Those are wise tales.
Yeah, common sense maybe to how you grew up. That may not be common sense to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you can have people in the same house going through the same things and they don't have the same sense,
Right.
right?
Making it
Because
not
people
common.
are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. Quality time. Ooh. If somebody wants undivided attention during their quality time and they're advocating for that, hear it. Okay. Undivided meaning sometimes I want D&D. Put your effing phone away.
Right.
And I want to hang out with you that way. And other times I do want to co-play. You be on your phone playing your video games. I just want to like breathe your air and touch you while I'm scrolling. Figure out what that means to you.
Yes. A good thing I tell couples who struggle with that, like if they're total opposites, is you can even do a jar, right? And you can put all of the favorite things that you love and put it in a jar and give it to your husband or your wife, and then they can pick it out for a while until they get used to giving you what you need. They can kind of take those little hints, right?
That's cute.
And that works.
But
It
like
is.
this
Yes.
is what I like jar. Oh, I'm
Yes.
gonna make one.
Make one.
I'm
They're
making
fun.
one. That's cute.
They're fun.
Physical touch. This can also get sticky because I think a lot of women will be like, or men, but like you said, I love physical touch, but maybe he heard something different. Well, she says she likes physical touch, but she never wants to have sex with me.
Sex, right? That's what they
And
hear.
you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
slow it down. What physical touch should we get to before the sex?
Right.
Before the deed? And also, what does your foreplay look like? And that I'm not talking just sexual foreplay. In our house, the rule or boundary or saying is foreplay starts the moment we open our eyes.
This is true.
Right? How have you treated your spouse all day? Could you have bumps in the roads? Could you have some things? And yeah, you can repair from that. But overall, how'd you treat your spouse all day and then have the expectation of sex?
Right.
Right? So like,
I haven't seen you. You haven't texted me. You didn't even give me a kiss before you left the house for work or whatever. That all contributes to if I'm going to love on you tonight, right? Like, I mean, I want to always love you. I just may not love on you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. You know, it does start from the beginning. You know, it starts, and even for some people, it even goes days before when we wake up that morning,
100%.
right? Like, if we are feeling like roommates, like our question earlier, you know, there's less of a chance that we're going to...
The oven hasn't even been preheated. How are we going to cook anything? You know? So clarify. I guess what I was getting to, clarify what physical touch means to you. And then if your thing is sexual physical touch, how do we get there?
Yes.
Right? Again, foreplay starts the moment you open your eyes. And a huge thing I also want to add into before we get to the deed, what did her moments or hours look like before that? Is she overstimulated by young children? Did you help get the kids down so that her nervous system was more rested? Did you, like, if you know her nervous system or his is overwhelmed or overstimulated by kids all day, did they get 20 minutes to come back down or an hour? Like, what do they need to regulate their nervous system to be sexy?
Yes.
Because you can't just go straight into, like, mom, bend over.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And
that's the same thing for dads, you know, whether they're home with the kids or whether they're at a busy job. You know, maybe they need time to go to the gym and work out. Maybe they need time with the kids before they feel like they're
can be
stressed
physical.
and they can be physical, you know, because we have to have our needs met before we feel safe. And we don't do sex unless we feel safe.
I mean, we can, but you're not going to enjoy it.
Well, I was going to say is unless we're pretending.
Right.
And then that's not even the same.
That's not the same. It's not the same because is the intention sex or is it connection?
Right.
You know, which one are we
doing? Because we can have sex a lot of times. Just have sex.
Like, if we just need a little quick, I mean, that's fine too. You can just have sex. You don't have to deeply connect every time. But I would say if you're majority of the time just having sex and not connecting, that then is an issue because your brain is going to repeat that pattern and expect that sex, and then who's getting horny?
Well, and not only that, you know, if there's no connection there, that puts us at risk of falling into other relationships outside of our marriage that are not approved of.
Right.
Like, because we're just like, oh, when I want it, I get it, and we're done. Cool.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're doing that everywhere.
Right.
And we don't want that to happen either. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that you added approved because polyamorous, E&M, all that, you can still cheat. You can still be a cheater in open marriages, polyamory, all of that, because cheating is deceit. It's like what's been hidden, right? So I like to caveat, well, I'm not cheating. Like, we're open. She knows we're open. Did you talk about going on this date with her, sleeping with a specific person? What are your don't ask, don't tell policies? And that's a whole nother podcast.
It is. Yes, right? And it's important, though, because even, you know, a lot of times people ask, what is an affair? You know, what does that look like
It
for
depends
you?
on the marriage.
And I'm like, it depends on your relationship. What have you discussed? You know, it's because we can have a really long and connected affair, and it can just be emotional.
Right.
Right?
But
you know, and
still
some people
cheating.
look at that as worse than sex. Like, go have sex with somebody you don't know and don't
I would
care
have
about.
rather you or
Right?
whatever.
Yeah. So I think it's really important to have those conversations with your partner. Again, communicate, right? And then set those things up so that no one's failing.
Yeah. Because to me, cheating or the definition of fidelity doesn't come from our besties or our outside people or what society says. It's what you've agreed upon. And I think it is a marital or couplage or whoever's in your cule decision on, are we watching porn? Do we like other people on social media? Do we have a work wife or not? No.
No.
But I mean, if it's in your, I guess if it's in your thing, fine, right? But truly, what is fidelity to you? Because this is where we get, well, I didn't cheat, I was just texting so-and-so at midnight.
Right.
Well, does so-and-so define this as cheating in your guys' relationship? We need to hone down on what is cheating for us.
Right.
Not your past relationship, not what is cheating for us.
Yes.
And establish that and stick to it, because if you're going to go outside that boundary, well, we're breaking boundaries and cheating, and you could do that. Like, it's your human choice. I wouldn't recommend it, though.
And we set each other up for failure because we didn't communicate what our boundaries were. And maybe your boundary is all, because I'm a hugger, right? I hug on everybody.
Right.
Praise God, my husband's okay with that.
I was going to say, praise God, because you're a hugger.
Yeah, because I'm a hugger. And if he wasn't okay with that, I would have to find a way to make sure that I'm not abusing that and hugging random people that he doesn't want me to hug.
Right.
We're going to supply the link if you're interested in taking the love language quiz.
Yes.
I use the Love Lab.
Love Lab. We'll link it below in the comments for sure.
Can love languages save a struggling relationship?
Okay, so
I think understanding them.
yes, I'm like, the love languages itself is not going to do nothing about nothing unless you understand how they operate in you, and then if you use them healthily and not weaponize them against each other.
I don't think you could save it on its own though.
No, there's so much other
There's so much
stuff.
work you have to do as well.
Yeah.
Which language is more important, knowing your love language or your partner's?
Both.
I think it's equal.
Like, I don't, yeah.
Let's do this or that.
Okay. Do we say this or that? Or what do we say? That?
You're going to say one or the other, because I'm going to give you two options.
Oh,
Okay? Logic or emotion?
Oh.
I know, I'm like,
Because we have to have both.
yeah, or
To be in our right mind, right? We have to be in our wise mind. We have to be balanced with our logic and our emotion. So,
because
otherwise
logic only, you might be a serial killer. We
Right.
need some emotion up in
we
there.
need some emotion, and we'll reason our way out of so many things,
You're right.
Or reason ourselves into things that are not healthy.
Yeah, and if we
And
only
if we're
emotion,
emotional, who knows what we're gonna do?
irrational stuff is gonna happen.
Yes.
Equal.
It's just like when we go to have surgery and they say, you just had anesthesia. Don't make any big life decisions.
Literally.
That's because you're not in your right mind. You're not you have no logic at that point.
So, both.
Yes.
Text all day or quality time at night?
Quality time at night.
I say both.
my
I think it depends on the person. I like both.
Because I
personally.
used to love to text all day, but I'm finding my current capacity can only text a couple times because I only have 2 breaks. So,
I'm not going to read mine until I have a break. At the same
Yeah.
time, it's kind of nice on your break to open up and see that.
yeah.
Right? Like, they were thinking about me.
If I had to pick, it would be quality time. But both are important.
I
both
think
are important.
Because
Both
we
to
think
all
it's
of
a
them.
little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of Monica and
No Monica in my
no
house.
Monica.
Okay.
Mm-mm, no Monica. Send her to my house.
I'll send her to your house.
Okay, spicy round.
Okay.
Oh.
My favorite.
Thoughts on keeping gifts from an ex?
Oh. Ooh. Shoot, that's nuanced. I have lots of things from ex.
I think it's okay. Like,
Because I have like a box.
I think
of
it
that,
depends
you
on
know?
the reason we're keeping it.
Yes. I'm going to say it boils down to communication and the trust and relationship you have with your current partner, and you're safe enough to, hey, ask, like, why do you still have that, right? Because I can understand that could be triggering. You know, why do you still have so-and-so's whatever? But how are you utilizing it now? And is it for memory purposes? I don't want you to get rid of your memories, even if they were before me. Like, I just don't want you to.
And I like jewelry. So if I got any jewelry from anybody, I'm keeping it. You know, and I don't like you maybe anymore, and I'm not madly in love with you, so I'm keeping it. I'm just keeping it because it's pretty and it sparkles, and I want it.
And so I think that would be a more nuanced conversation. Like, is it to do with insecurity? Is it whatever? And if at the end of the day, truly your partner is having a hard time, we need to talk about why.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are you triggered every time you see it? Can I move it to a different part?
And also disclosure, like, are we like putting it on and being like, this is the one my ex-boyfriend gave me in Hawaii?
Yeah,
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because, that's just setting your partner up to be hurt.
And jealous all day or
Jealous.
thinking about, like,
Right.
yeah. So I think that's our answer.
Last one. Finish the sentence.
Okay.
Every couple should start
communicating.
I was gonna say communicating.
Properly.
Yeah, communicating healthily.
And every couple should stop.
Yelling.
I was gonna say arguing. Start disagreeing. But yelling.
Yes. I schedule fight nights for my couples when I have to.
Oh yes, if we're like high conflict, that's my newest thing. Like we gotta reserve like 30 to 60 minutes once a week, and you cannot talk about it outside of that because our nervous system needs good.
Yes.
We need good.
And it's not okay to just be throwing rocks every day.
Right.
Like, we don't want to do, or throwing fists, right? We don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I noticed that if we write it down in a journal for later, and then we only have 30 minutes on Friday or whatever day you pick, we're more selective on the ones we bring up. And then we notice, like, I'm not emotional about this anymore, so that one doesn't matter. It's not going to matter in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to even matter it doesn't even matter today when it's only been 5 days.
Right.
So,
I think that's a good one, especially because, well, I don't know, I was mad about this, that, and the other, I can't even remember. So write it down. Write it down.
yes.
Okay, any other last minute thoughts you have today? Closing thoughts, any?
I just think, again, one of the biggest things to remember in any relationship, I know we've been focusing on couples. At the same time, any relationship that we have with people, communicating and understanding each other are at the forefront.
And maybe like each other, Remember at one point you did like them. And is there a possibility to get back to that? Chances are yes, if we both put in the work, so.
And I think using a big, or putting a big no-no on the word hate.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that's a really big thing in relationships, because if you hate me today, how are you loving me tomorrow?
Right, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. You can say, I don't like you very much, right?
Or I don't like this behavior you're doing right now.
Exactly. At the same time, we should always reserve love, right? That should be what we give, grace and love to our partners and our friendships.
I think that's the most healing right there. Can we give grace and love? It's not necessarily about, well, they did and then I'm hurt. Yes, I'm validating all of that. Do you still love them? Do you still want to be with them?
Yes. It's one of my biggest questions when I start with a couple. Are we here because we want to make things better, or are we here because we want to separate and make things livable, right? Like I think those are co-parents or yes. Exactly.
My closing thoughts are, I feel like we've covered a lot. I guess sitting here with my own body right now, I'm feeling really thankful. I'm feeling like a sense of gratitude that you guys are along with this journey, but I get to share space with you because I feel like I continuously get an opportunity to expand my mind every time I'm in a room with you. So I was just noticing that right now and I had to say it out loud.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. I think that, we make a good team because we do have the generational differences.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that makes us a more well-rounded mind.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think we're only working on half. So we match each other a lot.
I think we do. And we challenge each other.
That's what, because, sometimes we don't sleep. We have children in our houses and we have neurodivergent minds.
Yes.
And so I think it just works out really nice. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Send us comments and questions and we will get back to you.
Comment, like, share, push all the buttons because you guys love us. Please subscribe. We're trying to get out this information to more people so we can help more than just the people in our chair. Not just. We love them.
We do.
But we want to help more people. So, always remember to smile and be kind, even to yourself. What's your thing right now?
Choose you.
Choose you.
Okay.
Love you.
Bye.
I forget.
Welcome to License.
Okay, yes. Why do we do that?
To license.